You are listening to the Pacers Report with Mike Rich every Monday on the Central Indiana Sports Report.
Pippen challenging. He's going to have to get it in. He's having trouble. Gets it to Reggie for three. He's in the lane. He nearly lost it. He backs up and unloads a three. Oh, that did not happen. It hit the back of the rim. It popped high into the air, and it dropped gently through the net.
In 49 states, it's just basketball, but this is Indiana.
Welcome, Pacers fans, to the Central Indiana Sports Report for this week's Pacers Report with Mike Rich. And Mike, I got to be honest, at this point, doing this Pacers Report is a little bit of a chore. It's not as much fun as I'd really hoped this was going to be this year.
To say the least, it can sometimes be a chore. But hey, we're almost there. May 10th is right around the corner, and the Pacers did exactly what we wanted them to do every game the second half of the season. So let's just keep it going.
All right, Mike. Well, the Pacers didn't do what they were supposed to do and won 2 out of 4 games that last week, put themselves in a little bit of a precarious situation. Since then, though, they lost 2 games that we predicted they were going to lose, but the Kings have won 2 games in a row, so this thing is just about wrapped up.
It's close. They got a couple of games. They play the Timberwolves, who are going to win. They're going to play Brooklyn, who wants the same thing as the Pacers. Then they play the 76ers, and then the Pistons are probably already going to be set with the first or second seed in the East, so they're probably going to rest their players that last game. But we got competitive players playing right now. I mean, to play the way we did against Cleveland tonight was with the lineup we had. These guys want contracts, and they're going to do everything they can when they're on the floor and they get the opportunity and they're taking advantage of it. And I mean, Micah Potter is I mean, when he came in, right before the middle of the season or whatever with the Pacers, we had no idea who he was, but I mean, he's really stepped up to be a good piece, and he's played well, and he's gonna have an opportunity to play in this league, I think.
Just probably not with the Pacers.
I hope not.
I hope not, too. We'll talk about Sunday's game here in just a minute. First, want to look at the rest of the schedule, because according to my math, Mike, just need one more loss, and they wrap up a bottom 3 finish, which is all they need to do. And Tuesday night in Minnesota, and then they could maybe win some games, and we can actually cheer for them to win.
I'm going to stay consistent.
Their odds don't go up any. Before they traded the pick, having the worst record would have been of some benefit because they would be ahead of everybody else. If they didn't get a top 4 pick, they'd be the next team.
Right.
Maybe number 5 is the worst they could do, and now number 7 is the worst they can do, but 5, 7 doesn't matter anymore. So as long as they're in the bottom 3, which one doesn't really matter?
It doesn't. But I don't even want it to be close. I don't want there to be any question. I don't want – and I think we're good. I think with Sacramento where they're at, like you said, I mean, 1 game is all we need to stay in that bottom 3, I think. And
or Utah. Sacramento and Utah are both tied now with the worst record in the West.
I don't know. I don't know what I'd think if they start winning.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's been 2 of the last 4 years that it's been like this too.
Yeah.
Hoping for losses to have a chance at a really good draft pick, and I think we're there.
Yeah.
And
now,
Mike, I don't know if I've mentioned this before or not on the podcast, but the league owes us.
I don't think you have. I think you need to say that again. The league owes us.
The NBA owes the Indiana Pacers for their dedication to excellence for the last 30 years and never once tanking before this year. The NBA owes the Indiana Pacers this number 1 pick, Mike.
Amen.
Anywhere in the top 3.
Anywhere in the top three. They do. If they're not in the top three, I don't know if I'll watch the NBA ever again. I'll
Don't
be
say
so
that.
I'll be so damn disappointed.
I know you
I
don't
will.
mean that because you love the Pacers, but here's what I
I
keep
do.
saying, Mike. Here's what I keep saying. I don't care if it's the Pacers versus the NBA. I love that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's how I've always looked at the NBA anyway. I never had a second favorite team. It's
No.
always just been the Pacers and everybody else. Yes,
Right.
I probably had when the Pacers were horrible when we were growing up in the 80s, we all had a second team because that was the only way we were going to enjoy the playoffs. Since then, I've never even had a second team. It's Pacers and nobody else.
I liked the Bulls and I liked watching them, but if they ever played it's always I wanted the Pacers to win. But watching greatness when we were kids was hard not to enjoy.
It was, and it's never been better than it was back then. No doubt about it.
No doubt about
When you're talking about greatness, we've never seen an era anything like Bird, Magic, and Jordan, and never will again, probably.
Not in our lifetime.
Mike, I want to talk about Sunday night because you and I share a love of the Noblesville Boom. And that's basically what we had in the starting lineup on Sunday night. Jalen Slauson, Micah Potter, Ethan Thompson, Kobe Brown, Quentin Jackson. If I told you that in game number 78 this year, that was going to be the starting lineup going into game 7 last year, you would have thought that there was a plane crash and the entire team went down.
Oh, absolutely. I would have thought it was something would have had to happen for that starting lineup to be there. And man, Slauson, that kid gets above the rim. I think 3 goaltending calls, but damn, he got up. And
the Pacers are going to be so deep next year. I think all the way to 15 and their two-way contracts. The guys who go between Noblesville and the Pacers are going to be capable of playing NBA minutes.
Yeah, and that was what we were looking at this season when the injuries started piling up on us. It's like, all right, let's see what our G League looks like, and let's bring them up and let's get them minutes. And our rookies got some minutes. Peter got a lot of minutes this year, and Kobe Brown's playing well and having good opportunities. And Quentin Jackson has definitely got a spot probably next year on this team. I don't know if they get in the top 3 picks in this draft. I don't know what that team's going to look like next year. There's so many options.
I think it's probably bad news for Ben Shepherd. It's probably going to be somewhere else for Micah Potter and guys like that. Good thing they signed Quentin Jackson. I really like him as the in case of emergency player who's very capable of playing winning basketball. And this roster is going to be really nice next year.
I can't wait. I cannot wait.
I can't wait. It's just way too long from now. I want to say this. I think Aaron Nesmith was on the verge of a breakout season before first Halliburton got hurt, and then he got hurt early in the year. And going to be looking forward to seeing what he does next year. And we talked about it on the last Pacers report, Nembhard, and the things he's done lately. So many assists, and just feels like such a wasted season.
For the guys that were going to be in the starting lineup this year, Siakam, Nembhard, Nesmith, I think it was a waste of a season for them. It's just another year on their body. And that's the unfortunate piece of this season. But to see a lot of the growth of the younger guys and the opportunities that they got with those guys, that's invaluable next year. That's going to pay off in later in the season when we have those nicks and bruises and these guys are coming up and they're playing on a team that's competing for the Eastern Conference. This year is going to pay dividends there. But I agree. I really feel bad for like Nesmith, Nembhard, and Siakam to put another year on their body without being in the playoffs. But that's the other advantage too. They're not going to be in the playoffs. It's extra rest. So they're going to get plenty of rest. They've been able to have a load management this year and miss several games and be able to get a good balance of rest and play. Again, I think they look at the future too. And they know what the opportunity is. And they know the opportunity is going to be competing for a championship next year. Did you see Halliburton warming up with this today?
I didn't.
Oh my God. He's big. He's put on some pounds. He just looks more solid. It was good to see him out there shooting threes and things like that. He's still got an uglier and hell shot, but it's still going in. I was really excited to see him back with the team. He's had a rough year, just not just with the recovery from the Achilles, but he got shingles after the midseason, and that put him away from the team for a while. And I'm looking forward to seeing his development. I'm hoping that the rehab and everything that he's doing right now is more strength training, and he's putting on more muscle. He looked a lot more solid. So I'm pretty excited to see him start playing this summer, and looking really forward to seeing him next year in that starting lineup.
I want to say this about Sunday night's game, Mike. I think the Indiana Pacers stole the Cleveland Cavaliers' soul last year. That Cavaliers team is just not good.
No.
They're not good. They rolled into last year's playoffs as the favorite to win the whole thing, and the Pacers just spanked them, and they haven't been the same since. They made that trade for James Harden that they hope maybe produces something, but it's not going to. It's not going to.
How many teams have had hope with James Harden? Houston, OKC, Cleveland, 76ers, the Clippers. I mean, how many teams have taken a chance on James Harden and they get the same thing?
It always seems like, well, we're not going to win anything now. We might as well try James Harden.
Right. And he's a fantastic player, one-on-one. And when he plays his game, he's fantastic, but he doesn't do much for a team.
He does not. And that team is toast. And the Eastern Conference is pretty good now. You can go 8 teams deep, and I don't think there's going to be a surprise. I don't think there's any possible surprise in the Eastern Conference playoffs this year. I think every team is capable of beating every other team. Now that the Hawks and Hornets are 2 of the best teams in the East.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because last year that wasn't happening.
No, those 2 teams are. I kept saying last year the Hawks could be the best team in the East if they just trade Trae Young. And they traded Trae Young, and guess what happened? They took off.
I think the Hawks right now, they're right there in the mix. I wouldn't be surprised to see them come out of the East.
No.
I think
the Hornets are good enough too. I really do.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Those 2 teams are really good all of a sudden. It was like when the Pacers were not winning, then all of a sudden they grew up a little bit and they started winning. That's what those 2 teams are doing. And I think we're going to see a lot of maturation with the Pacers next year even, and they might be really good. I think they're going to be different than they were last year, but I think they're going to have a really good regular season.
I think the Knicks are toast in the playoffs. Karl Anthony Towns he's not going to help that team get very far, I don't think. And I don't think they get better next year. And I thought at the beginning of the season, I thought the Knicks probably had the best team on paper in the Eastern Conference.
And by the way, if they're going to win it, Cade Cunningham's going to have to be the best player in the NBA. I'm not sure he's capable of doing that, so I don't think that the Pistons can, but if he does, they can. My last thing before we go, let's visit Tankathon. The mock draft at Tankathon, the Pacers have the 2nd pick, and they have them taking Darren Peterson, which I can't even imagine that would be possible with Cameron Boozer and Caleb Wilson both available in the fit there, but Darren Peterson's really darn good, so maybe that would be the case. But of course, that's not where the Pacers are going to be picking, unless that's where they end up after the NBA draft lottery on May 10th that we're very much looking forward to. And right now I'm going to simulate that lottery and see what comes up, and we'll talk about whatever it says the Pacers are going to do. And producer Susie, I'm going to simulate the lottery. Who is it?
Where am I looking? Caleb Wilson.
Caleb Wilson with the 4th pick is what it says. And Mike, that would excite me. Not quite as much as DeBonta or Boozer, but he might have the most upside of everybody, and I think he is the most athletic of all 4 of them.
If he's there for him, that's a fantastic opportunity. I think that and I think he's a good fit for what we need next year.
That's probably the issue, is I'm not sure he would be good enough to get into this lineup next year. I think that would be a future piece. Now, Boozer or DeBonta, I think they would probably get right into the Pacers lineup, at least come off the bench with significant.
Yeah.
I'm not sure Wilson would be able to do that next year, but you're talking about down the road. The guy just floats on air, man, and he's so skilled, and there's nothing he doesn't do well. Caleb Wilson to the Pacers would be fantastic. Of course, he had the injury. I don't think anybody expects that to be something that lingers. By the way, average is per 36 minutes last year at North Carolina, 22.8 points, 10.8 rebounds, 3.1 assists. Very good passer, and I think that gets overlooked. And very good defensively, 1.7 steals, 1.6 blocks per 36 minutes, and is a freshman at North Carolina.
It sounds like he'd fit really well with the Indiana Pacers.
And he's also a rebounder. That's the thing. DeBonta, Boozer, Wilson, if they can get any of them, they need to add to rebounding, because that's probably the place that they're going to be weakest next year, is rebounding. It's not necessarily the strength of any of their big men.
And that's where I think the Pacers have always struggled. And I'm hoping Zubats changes that. I think he will. But Miles Turner was not a rebounder. Jay Huff has not been a rebounder.
Zubats really isn't that great of a rebounder either for his size.
Yeah.
He's a good rebounder. He's known more for his offensive skills, which are immense. So, and a good crafty defender, by the way, but not known for his rebounding. Caleb Wilson will be an outstanding rebounder, as will Cameron Boozer, by the way. I don't know if you heard, sustained a broken face against UConn in the Elite Eight.
Oh, Boozer did?
He did. Broke a bone in his face during the game.
Damn. That's not good.
They took him off the court, and he ended up coming back, and he got examined, he had a broken bone in his face, but hopefully that will not cost him any time either.
Yeah. He's young. Recover fast.
By the way, the lottery simulation has the Hawks with the number 1 pick, Darren Peterson. That would be scary. The Wizards number 2, AJ DeBonta. The Jazz number 3, Cameron Boozer. I think, didn't his dad play for the Jazz?
Yes.
He did.
Good old Carlos.
Number 4 with Caleb Wilson. And then the Nets number 5 with Kingston Flemings. Mike,
sounds about
thanks
right.
so much. Let's do it again next week.
Sounds good. Go Pacers.
The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.